You grow up and you watch the World Juniors. You watch the Olympics and you say, I wish I could be there. And I'm living that dream right now.
Rob Armstrong. I'm number 6, and I'm currently a forward for the national sledge team. I was at a junior C game, and there was this guy in a wheelchair, and he approached me and said, "Have you ever played sledge hockey?" I said, "I've never heard of it."
He was showing him the sledge and the sticks and how they're played. He picked up on Robbie because Robbie had the arm crutches at the time, and he thought, you know, he would be really interested.
At first, I didn't really think much of it. I didn't think of it as a real sport because I was so used to stand-up hockey, watching the Leafs. About a year after that, I decided to try it out, just to get involved with something and get physically involved again. And from there on, it's kind of helped out big time.
I was laying there and I was on morphine, I was in pain. It was right before my surgery, and I remember watching the Vancouver Paralympics a few months before, and just thinking back to that and thinking, one day I'm going to be a Paralympian, I'm going to play for Team Canada, and right away it was just a decision that I was going to play sledge hockey and push it as far as I could go.
He set his goal to become a Paralympian within hours of his accident. That has been a stake in the ground for him, and that's something that he has stuck with ever since. He wanted to make sure that he was going to be the kind of person that got into the game rather than sitting on the sidelines.
So my disability is a T12 paraplegic, so I'm a complete paraplegic, so I have no movement or feeling from my waist down. I was 16 years old when I was involved in a car crash.
I was still at work because I was preparing for a business trip where I was going to be going down to the States early the next morning. I had received a text from my wife asking when I was going to be coming home.
My sister was driving, I was sitting right behind her. We were driving down a gravel road, which we lived on at the time. We were about 100 meters from the house, so almost home.
I received a frantic phone call from her saying that the kids have been in an accident just down the street from home, and she didn't know how they were.
So she started fighting with a friend that was in the front seat and stopped driving. So she started to swerve, she overcorrected, the vehicle flipped.
I'm sitting at work, getting ready to leave for a business trip, and I've got no idea if my kids are alive or not.
Everybody, other than me, walked away from the crash.
When I was 6 years old, I had a virus attack my lower spine, and as a result, a lot of nerve damage and muscle damage in my left leg.
Acute disseminated encephalomyelitis. And what that is, it's actually when like a virus attacks your spinal cord. It can go to the upper part of the body, to the bottom part of the body. And what it did is it caused permanent damage to his nerves down his left leg.
At first it was both my legs, but over time my right leg healed into a proper leg, and my left, I have to walk with a walking aid, a leg brace.
We were playing hockey on a Wednesday night, and he woke up on the Thursday morning and he said his leg felt sore or strange. So we took him to the doctors and they said it was a pulled hamstring.
When I couldn't stand up in my bed, I thought it was from hockey, like my legs were sore, but there's something a little bit more than that.
We went to 2 more hospitals, right down to sick kids on the Sunday.
I just remember going to hospitals and like not understanding what really was going on, like why I wasn't walking and why my mom was crying in the hospital.
Each time he was crossed off that it wasn't cancer, you have a sense of relief. However, you don't know what it was going to be. And we also didn't know it would have such a lasting effect.
I didn't really understand what was going on, and it just kind of became my life. And right now I'm thankful because it made me who I am today, and it's given me a lot of possibilities, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
The adjustment period for this is a bit different because you just kind of have to keep going.
It was tough on them. I remember, like I said, my mom was in tears, and I had no idea what was going on. So obviously a lot of support, and they still support me to this day.
Robbie was just trying to make his own decisions on where he would fit in and what he wanted to do. So it wasn't until I think he was about 9 or 10 when he finally turned to his dad and I and said, "Yeah, I'm ready to try the sledge hockey."
My first sled ever, it was a flat thing of steel plus a straight back with blades about this far apart with a GMC buckle to keep me in. So I was confused. I had no idea what I was doing. I just went down the ice and crashed into about 3 people. And as time grew on, I still feel like I have a lot to learn. But at first, it was very confusing. And I thought I could never get to the point I am today. But here I am.
The decision was really his to make, and he hopped on the sled and he's never looked back.
Right away after the accident, going into a sport really helps with the family. I wasn't just gonna go out and do nothing. I was gonna set my mind to something. I was gonna participate in a sport that I loved and they knew I loved. So they were right behind me since day one. Having my parents support me 100% is a big key for why I'm actually where I am today.
The goal that he had set, that he was going to make it to the men's Paralympic sledge hockey team, I felt it was within my abilities to help him, and I was going to do everything I possibly could to help him get there.
I feel like since the accident, me and my dad have become a lot closer just because he's just trying to keep me from saying there's a limitation. He doesn't really think I have a limitation, so I have no excuses. I just go out there and do things.
At first, it was kind of a shock for a lot of people because in a small town, stuff like that doesn't happen.
The outpouring right off the bat was pretty large. The kids that he was with, even though it was only for a short amount of time, they had a very close-knit type of group of friends.
Little things like helping me at recess, or just because I had a walker at the time, just understanding and asking questions about the walker rather than just being confused. And little things like that goes the distance.
There are stereotypes, for instance, like you got to open the door for them, or got to coddle them in some sort of way. In Tyrone's case, when we go out, he never lets me get ahead because he always wants to make sure he's the one opening the doors.
You can cover a lot of challenges, but just learning how to deal with the different obstacles, because the world isn't built for a wheelchair. You have to kind of go around it and try and figure out your own way. You realize that there's other opportunities in life. There's things that you can do now that you can't do before. So I've always said it's open more doors than it's closed. My victory lap here, I was able to do Rick Hansen relay, and that was one of the doors that opened up for me.
So the Rick Hansen relay was intended to map how Rick had done the same journey across Canada when he did his world tour.
It was kind of a test to see how it would manage and how it would be to go around and live everyday life by myself in a wheelchair.
Rick mentioned to him that, well, maybe he should consider coming back for the end of the relay. Then they could do this hill together that was particularly challenging. Tyrone went up the hill together with Rick and a few others and 5,000 school students, and that was the highlight of the whole relay.
Having this ability now and being able to be a part of something like that, it changed my life for the better. I met so many amazing people while being a part of that. I believe it made me a better person. It prepared me a little bit more for being on the national team.
So how I started playing in Mississauga. It was about an hour drive. Got into a few games. I traveled all across Southern Ontario.
We've put a lot of kilometers on my car, going to lots of different towns all across Ontario, even right down to North Carolina.
When I came to school, I joined the Ottawa team. They get some ice there. I still do to this day. And that That was the first time I got an invite to the dev team. And then 2 years later, I got invited to the Canada tryouts. On my second year, I was voted in as the C on the dev team, and never thought I would get to that because I don't see myself that much of a leader. But I'm glad I could lead a bunch of young kids admiring what I could do on the ice and off the ice.
Once he became the captain of the development team, it really did show that he possessed this quality that they saw him as a leader, which was quite overwhelmingly proud moment.
When I first met Rob, he was small. Like he's a small guy, so that was the first thing I noticed.
We got invited to the same Ontario selection camp on Sledge Team Ontario, and I saw his name, and it was Tyrone Henry, and I've never heard of this man before.
He's one of the guys on the team that I know I can rely on. So just having him there and growing up with him through development team and Team Ontario, and then now national team, seeing the progression that he's had, I always thought he's got so much potential and he's got so much talent in the sport. I could see him having a very long career, and I'm happy to be a part of his journey as well.
He made the team that year with me, and we grown up developing. We've been on the development team together, and we made the national team together. So we've been in a very similar journey.
Before I started for Canada, I just played here in Ottawa. I played for the local team for like 3-4 years, and then now I'm on Team Canada.
You see him develop through the different levels of hockey, and he did it very fast. Going from a person who had to have his blades, 5.5 inches apart just to be able to sit up, to now down to about 1.5 inches apart.
The amount of work I've seen him put in, he's definitely one of the hardest working guys. And to see what he's overcome in the past couple of years has been pretty incredible to watch. And I'm proud of him.
The first time you roll into the dressing room and you see a Team Canada jersey hanging in your stall, it gives you shivers.
To compete in the upcoming Paralympics has been quite the experience already. It's a lot of talk right now, like get ready for the Paralympics, get ready for the Paralympics. And I don't think it's hit me yet how big it's going to be.
It's as far as he can go in that career for hockey. It makes me so proud, and I just cannot wait to go and wear the jersey and cheer and watch Canada. It will be very exciting.
It's that huge milestone that I've been dreaming about. Like I get up every morning and I say, hey, this is for going to Paralympics. This is your dream. This is for your family. In a year, I could be in Korea competing for Canada in the Paralympic. So it's nothing really beats that.
This is only 6.5 years since he was injured, and he wasn't able to do a single sport for a year. So in 5.5 years, he's gone from, learning how to sit up and being able to lift his hands off his lap without falling over, to being able to possibly play in the Paralympics next year. It's a big deal.
Just knowing he had the opportunity to participate in a sport that he loved and met people, and I would put 1 million more kilometers on my car just because of that.
Everybody's there to get that gold medal, and you're trying to get it for the veterans who are kind of at the end of their career, and for yourself and your teammates around you who are going to their first Paralympics. And having all of us there who are young and fighting every day for spots, we're all trying to push each other to be better and trying to get better as well. So it helps keep each other accountable and just get better every day.
It's going to be exciting. We're already excited. We're looking forward to the summer. It's going to be a lot of training. We're going to look forward to the year because it's going to be a lot of camps together. We're going to grow as a team, and we're going to win gold.